Hello, everyone. So, longtime viewers of the channel will know that I am on a quest. A quest to redeem the good name of the Speyside region in Scotland. Because Scotch nerds, they all kind of start out in the Speyside. That's their first malt. They buy themselves a Glenfiddich or a Macallan or something like that, and then they move on. And then they, aside from maybe special cases like your Benrinnes and your Glentauchers, they never really come back. They're always, around the Highlands, off in the islands. They're paying attention to other stuff, which leaves dozens of potentially very interesting distilleries just kind of not getting a lot of love. But we're going to give them some love. This is, kind of an entry in the Speyside Backbenchers series, wherein we taste out distilleries. I mean, overwhelmingly from Diageo, because they just own a lot of distilleries. But really from wherever, just Speysiders that hardly get any attention. To see if they're any good and to see, if they are worthy of your love. All right, so what are we doing today? We are just doing Speyside distilleries that I have already kind of reviewed in some other form elsewhere on this channel, but I wanted to taste them out again, or I just got a cool sample I wanted to try. This is what I want to try again. I've got a Glenburgie here in bourbon form this time. And we're just going to taste through all these, give them a score. All these are high proofers, by the way. I think the Glen Spey here is the weakest of the bunch. Yeah, so what do we got? We have got a Glen Spey from Benrinnes and Rothes. We have got a Glentauchers from Signatory. Actually, these three are all Signatory. Part of the 100 proof series that they're doing, which is one of the absolute, poggers successes of Scotch in recent years. Yes, we got a Glentauchers. We have got a Mannochmore. We have got a Benrinnes, and we have got a Glenburgie, my beloved Glenburgie. All right, enough of my yapping. Let us taste through these. Starting out with this little Glen Spey here. Benrinnes and Rothes. 14 years old, distilled 2009, and I think this is just a hogshead. And 55% alcohol by volume. I love this light color. It looks like a Chardonnay, and not a particularly oaky Chardonnay. Oof. On the nose. Yeah, this cast did not do much at all, and I'm kind of okay with that. Very close to the elements here. I mean, we're taking mashed pear. We are mixing around with some crushed up multigrain bread, and Jesus, what is that? Like something industrial. It's not like let's go like lamp oil, maybe something like that. Or like hot automotive parts. Yeah, so very, very fruity, but also kind of industrial at the same time, but also grainy. There is a little dab of vanilla in there, but not very much. Some raisin, but these are like green raisins. They're very fresh, fruity raisins. There's some flowers. Very raw. Very, very raw. I mean, it's almost, eau de vie of barley and fruit juice, more so than it is like a whiskey. And that's kind of okay. What is that fruit that you get all the gooseberry. White currant. I mean, it does smell kind of like a white wine if you just kind of soaked some some bread in it, and some industrial stuff. Hot metal. I mean, this is raw. But I'm not mad. I'm kind of into this. Some quince, little kiwi as well. And dash of like orange that's starting to go off. It's starting to get those little green spots on there. Like slightly ruddy orange. On the palate. I know that none of that sounds appealing, but oh. There There is, I mean, I like this. I do personally like this. This is fun. But I'm going to say, before giving any more details, like the pie chart of malt drinkers overall that are going to enjoy this profile is like vanishingly small. This is nerdy stuff. So a lot of it follows the nose. You're getting intense pear juice, a little bit of apple, currant, some green gage, gooseberry, flowers. A little bit of graininess. It's vague. It's more vague than it is on the nose with the grains. Vague graininess. Let's go with that. And then you've got your hot metal that's been covered in like lamp oil and like mechanical industrial gunk of some kind. It's a very, very weird combination. There's some green tea in there. White pepper. Oh, there's some vanilla too. Just to remind you that this is actually a whiskey. God Lord, there's some herbs. There's like a parsley thing. This is out there. But I mean, if you can get past the weird profile, this is pretty solid. I mean, the texture is very solid. It's covering my entire mouth in like peppery industrial stuff but on the finish, the fruit is sticking around. It's not all like, the peppery industrial stuff. Like the fruit is carrying through for a pretty good length of time. The mouth length is pretty solid. We're starting to get in my lungs here. I'm enjoying this. It's just not a profile that a lot of people are going to be into. But I like you, little Glen Spey. I think you're fun. Okay, let's give this some water, and we shall move on to these sherried things here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll probably do 4.5. 4.5. I don't think that's going to change much with water, but I could be wrong. It just doesn't seem like that kind of profile. It seems like it is what it is. And you're either going to love it or not love it. All right, moving on. This is the Glentauchers. Regarded, I think, in most rankings as one of the lesser distilleries in Scotland. I mean, so is Glen Spey, for that matter. But I think one of the first cast strength whiskeys I ever bought. It was a Binny's pick from way, way, way back when, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. So I have a little bit of a soft spot for Glentauchers. This is a 2012. I think it's a 12-year-old. Yeah. One of the earlier 100 proof editions, number 18. And this sucker is 11 I mean, they're all 57.1% alcohol. But yeah, first fill Oloroso butts. So we're going to have a sherry bomb on our hands. On the nose. Orange. Orange, baby. You are getting... well, take your basic navel orange, chop it up into pieces. Chop that orange up into pieces. Maybe you can get a little more fun with this. You can take some not even just bergamot. Take some Earl Grey tea. Put some Earl Grey tea on top of your chopped up orange. And then you're going to take some beef broth and pour it all over your orange and Earl Grey. And that's kind of what this smells like. It's there's also, I mean, the fruit is coming through. Do not get me wrong. I am also getting some bright dessert apple quince. There's actually more florals in this than there was in the Glen Spey. And the Glen Spey was pretty floral. Florals, a little bit of like a bright honey thing, like a orange blossom honey kind of character. A little bit of no, that's not Swisher Sweets. Ovaltine. Let's go Ovaltine. Black pepper. More savory stuff, like a little, piece of old leather or something, like an old leather strop. More of the distillate character coming through. There's some more fruit. Like there's a little bit of like a nectarine character. A little bit of graininess, just a little bit of like a mashed up Cheerios thing going on. But less grainy than the Glen Spey on the nose. Okay, I mean, so yeah, it's in terms of the notes, we're in cherry bomb territory, very, very clearly. But this also presents a lot brighter and more like citrusy, orangey than most of the cherry bombs I can think of that are kind of comparable in style to this. There's just a little bit of like a butterscotch thing in the back there. What is that? Yeah, what is like a cookie with some kind of toffee on it, something like that. Like a cookie with toffee on it or butterscotch on it, something like that. On the palate. I mean, much more of like a conventional sherry bomb kind of thing on the palate, but this is a very good sherry bomb. Chocolate orange. The little like beef bouillon mix, the Better Than Bouillon beef, that's in there. Intense black pepper, Swisher Sweets, Ovaltine. But then you've got a little bit of extra orange beyond the chocolate orange. You've got some navel orange. You've got a little of that kind of Earl Grey tea thing still coming through. Pear, quince. I'm not really getting any nectarine, but it still feels brighter than a lot of stuff in the style. That kind of like cookie with toffee or maybe like a graham cracker kind of thing going on in there. Black tea to kind of go, black tea beyond the Earl Grey. And the mouth presence is very good. I mean, it's probably got a hair bit more going on in terms of the notes that it's throwing at me than the Glen Spey. I don't know. It's probably got a little more balance than the Glen Spey too, but I do feel like it's not sticking around as long, or at least a lot of the notes I'm enjoying on the arrival and the mid palate, they aren't sticking around as long as some of the stuff in the Glen Spey was. The tannins and the pepper, they're hanging around, but some of the fruity stuff fades not quickly, but more quickly than I like. I don't know. I do think this is going to hit a hell of a lot more palates than the Glen Spey is, but I think it's not, this is not a first round knockout. Let's put it that way. I'm going to give this some water. We'll move on. 2, 3, 4. Well, it'll do 5. 5 squirts. All right, let's move on. Glass number 3 is the Mannochmore. Really interesting. Just a big industrial distillery that no one really seems to like. I don't know if you are like a ride or die for a Mannochmore, please post down below. Please, because I want to know you. I want to know how you think and what the good Mannochmores are. Because it's everyone else I've talked to, it's one of those distilleries that you try to be able to say that you've tried it. And I've tried a couple. The last one I tried was like a very oaky, bourbony monster. And this is a much more straightforward sherry bomb. So I'm curious to see what we got here. All right. Also a 2012, 11-year-old, 100 proof edition from the Signatory number 13. And this is also first fill oloroso butts. So, similar stats as the Glentauchers. But let's see if it is any better. Interesting. Okay, nervous is not the word I'd expect to use on this, but here we are. So sherry stuff. You have got some dried fruit happening. You've got some prune, some chocolate orange. Your beef bouillon mix. But then there's some really interesting, like, nervy fruit things going on. Like lemon peel, some tropical fruit, but it's like underripe tropical fruit. Almost like an underripe mango. Maybe a little kiwi. There's something grungy about this too, but it's hard to put my finger on it. Black pepper, obviously. What is that? It's almost like a. It's almost like the edgy tropical fruit still has a bunch of dirt on it, or not even dirt, like fresh soil. Like you bought some of the really expensive, nice, nutrient-rich soil from your local, gardening store, and you dumped it on top of a bunch of like really half-ripe tropical fruit. That's kind of what you're getting on this, mixed with the more conventional sherry notes. Is there some graininess? Yeah, there's some like oatmeal kind of character in the background. Interesting. More dried fruit, a little bit of fig. Huh. Okay, on the palate. Ooh. I think this is quite good. It's really hard to explain why. Because a lot of this, I mean, it's a very dark sherry bomb. Kind of, again, there's a lot of savory beef broth, leather notes, meeting some black pepper, black tea leaves, kinds of stuff. Some, really dark chocolate, high cacao chocolate, a little bit of orange peel. Let me go back into this to get some other things. What's impressing me is the sense of, I don't know, depth, three-dimensionality. This thing feels alive somehow. Hang on. It's got that like premium topsoil thing. The weird fruit is there. There's some kiwi, like mango, but it's like just before it's ripe kind of stuff. Orange peel. In some ways, this reminds me of the was that old Signatory Glenburgie I had a while back that I really fell in love with. It's not that good, but it's kind of the same style because it's in terms of notes, it doesn't sound that complicated, but there is a depth and a sense of depth and a sense of like darkness and detail that is really kind of drawing me into this, and that I did not anticipate when I saw the word Mannochmore on the bottle. There's like a rich, living, grungy factor to this. Tough to nail down, but I like it. All right, interesting session so far. Very different malts. Just a reminder that the Speyside is not all one thing. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's move on to glass number 4, and this is the Benrinnes, right? Benrinnes 2012. I believe this is after their switch away from partial triple distillation. So we'll see how this goes. 13 years old. First fill and refill oloroso this time, but we're also looking at a sherry bomb. 57.1% alcohol, just like all the others, and this is Signatory's 100 proof edition number 56. So this was 2025, not 2024. On the nose. No, we're kind of not too far away from the Glentauchers in terms of style. Chocolate orange once again, but there's like a gunpowder thing to this, which I'm enjoying. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been in a gun range, and I don't really feel an incentive to go back. But the smell of, I don't know, gunfire, that's kind of in this, but mixed around with chocolate orange, and there's a distinctive like green floral thing in this. Like flowers that just as they're blooming before they completely bloomed. Grapey? Something grapey in this? Like dirty raisins, something like that. Some fig also. Black tea leaves. You're still getting your beef bouillon cubes, that kind of thing. Also some white currant on this as well. A little bit of some brighter fruit. And some oatmeal in the background. But the kind of gun range smell is interesting to me. Okay. On the palate. I swear to God, like these signatories, none of these are grand slams. They're not, smashing the ball out of the park and sending the entire team past home plate. That's not what these are doing. But for the price they're asking for these on the European retailers and the quality they're delivering, god damn. Huh. So you're still getting the gun range thing on the palate. I feel like I'm, like chewing on I don't know, like dirty old, bullet casings or something. But nice. Aside from that, this is probably the most conventional of the sherry bombs of these three. Because this thing's got the really bright fruit thing on the palate. And this thing's got the sense of, I don't know, dark depth or something. And the Benrinnes here is just straight ahead, like, hi, I'm a sherry bomb, for the most part. Black tea, chocolate orange, beef broth. Yeah, oatmeal in the background. A little bit of like a mashed pepper thing. Mashed pepper. How do I get mashed pepper? Yeah, okay, mashed pepper too, black pepper. Apple is what I was going for. Sorry, long day. Mashed apple. With a little drizzle of like wildflower honey on top. Fig butter. Some nice raisininess, which I'm enjoying. Touch of stowed Virginia tobacco, like desserty tobacco. Solid, if slightly unexceptional, mouth presence. I mean, this is a sherry bomb anyone can be happy about. If this is the sherry bomb you can afford in the current economy, you're still doing okay. I'm going to give this a squirt of water and we'll move on. Between these three, I don't even know what's winning. I think it might be the Mannochmore. Honestly. We'll see. 2, 3, 4, 5. And finally, this one I'm excited about. Glenburgie. I kind of fell in love with Glenburgie last year. I tried 2 good examples that just kind of knocked my socks off. And this is the first bourbon barrel Glenburgie I think I've ever had. Distilled at the end of 2014, bottle 2024, 9 years old. And it is a Benny's pick. 62.7% alcohol. So we are in like overproof rum territory here. I am eager to see what this is like on the nose. Ugh. Oh. I mean, it smells like a s'more that you drizzled like not sauterne, like peanut charance on top of. Wine nerdy stuff. Sweet white dessert wine on top of. Oh, that is pretty. There's a lot of peat. Like yeah, the s'mores element is really intense. There's vanilla. But there's also just like a peach apricot, nectarine, dessert apple kind of thing going on here. Throw a little bit of like a mandarin orange in this as well. White pepper. What is that? Jeez. Oh, I'm smelling something. Tea, but what kind of tea? Cascara. That is what I'm smelling. Cascara is a thing. Go look it up. It's you're making coffee. I mean, not you, but the you're producing coffee, I should say. You want to get the little bean inside. So you scrape off the berry on the outside. What happens to the berry that's been all kind of fermented? That goes off to be dried off. That becomes cascara, which is a kind of it's a very distinctive kind of funky tea. Put it that way. And it's here on the nose, kind of mixed in with this really big old just attack of delicious fruitiness. This is pretty. This is very pretty. I mean, I was enjoying the the obnoxious fruit meets industrial accident kind of thing that was happening on the Glen Spey. This is just a whole different level of refinement. It is a little bit of a spicy boy. It's a little hot from the alcohol, but very, very, very impressive. Just a great distillate. I mean, what can I say? And the graininess is just kind of providing a backbone for the fruit. Oh, this is nice. Like a little bit of cardamom in there as well. Some rose water. Terrific. On the palate. I think this will benefit from water. In fact, I practically guarantee it. It's a little aggressive on the front end, and you can tell it's young, just by what I call the mouth length. Like most of what's happening is in the front of my mouth. Molars on back. Not a whole lot going on back here, but up here, wow, it is yummy and delicious. Lots of vanilla, creme brulee. The cask is much more obvious on the palate. In a good way. There's some like cherry stuff, but it's like Kirschwasser, like cherry distillate, more so than anything. Black pepper, Darjeeling leaves. Still got the cascara on the palate as well. Your s'mores element, that little graham crackery grainy thing, and the chocolate. And the fruit it's still there, but it's more restrained, pulled back, integrated with the rest of the stuff. But you're still getting your peach, your apricot, your nectarine, your dessert apple, a little bit of orange peel. I want to see what water does to this. Because I'm guessing it will make it better. Because it feels a little bit like it's cramped and hot right now. But I'm still really enjoying it. It's probably still, it's definitely keeping up with the others at least, if not beating them. 3, 4, 5. I'll do 5.5. Oh, Jesus. Definitely do 5.5. Maybe yeah. How about another half? Spicy boy. Okay. That is a spicy meatball. Okay, we're going to go back through. This is a fun flight. Very different whiskeys. Okay, back to the Glen Spey. This is the oldest thing here. Probably the most divisive of all the profiles on the table. Absolutely the most divisive of the profiles on the table. I mean, it smells like a fruit eau de vie that you just poured in on top of a bunch of industrial waste. It's really raw. Just like oils and gunk, but then you've the pretty peach and pear stuff on top. A little bit of graininess. Nose honestly hasn't improved too much with water. I was hoping it would. There is almost a little bit of a pool water element coming out now. This is weird stuff. Slightly floral, orangey. I mean, I don't know if I would want a whole bottle of this, but as something to keep around for the people who tell you that Speyside is boring, this would not be a bad choice on the palate. No, this is killer. This is killer. That's pushing it. It's still a really brutal, weird, divisive profile that only a tiny portion of the malt fandom is ever gonna give the time of day. But I think this is pretty good. Water has brought out the cask a little bit more. There's a little bit more of a vanilla cream thing. But yeah, there's some edgy fruit elements, pear, peach, a little bit of minerality now. There's some rocks coming out. The graininess, and then that just really weird, I don't know, lamp oil, motor oil, dirty motor oil kind of thing. Really hard one to score. I mean, a lot of people are just not going to like the flavors or going to find this unbalanced. I think the balance is fine. I think the mouth presence is very good, actually. I'm going to give this an 86. I need to give it an emoji of some kind to make it clear that this is weird. But I think this deserves an 86. 86 points with a... any clever like a shrug emoji. Let's do a shrug emoji, because I shrug because I can't really explain why I'm enjoying this so much. But I do think it's actually very good. 86 points, but weird. Moving on to the Glentauchers. Yeah. Oh, I still love that orange note. But yeah, you are getting a little bit more of a traditional... the cask could come out a little bit more, put it that way. There's more of a fudginess to this. Like chocolate fudge, Ovaltine kind of coming out. It was there before, but now it's really pushing forward to rival the orange kind of character to this. fudgy Ovaltine, but it's still got the savory stuff, the beef bouillon. A little bit of like a jasmine tea element to this too. Interesting. Pretty on the palate. I can't hate this. Neither can you. Like, this is just delicious. Total sherry bomb. Not a whole lot that's surprising here. It's keeping the profile from before, basically. It's Ovaltine and beef bouillon, a little bit of dried fruit, black pepper, chocolate orange, sherry stuff. Swisher Sweets. On top of that, it's got a little bit of like a fun navel orange meets jasmine tea kind of character that's all its own. And a little bit of like a shortbread cookie thing too. But I mean, we are well into the safety zone of Scotch profiles here. This is a sherry bomb, and it's a good one. Mm-hmm. But is it better than the Glen Spey? I don't think it is. Yeah. Every single other Scotch reviewer you hand these bottles to would rank the Glen Spey dead last. They just would. I know it basically as a fact. Like, this thing is not getting, more than 84 points, if that, from your standard YouTube Scotch reviewer. I think this is better than the Glentauchers. It's more weird, but the mouth presence is just better. It just is. Like, the Glentauchers is delicious. And it's got a very, straight ahead conventional profile. But that profile falls off pretty fast. It does not get into my lungs in the same way that the Glen Spey is. I'll call it... I do think this is better with water, so I'm going to give this an 85 plus. 85 plus points. God, I'm going to get such a barrage of hatred if the Glen Spey ends up winning this. But I'm calling it as I see it. 85 plus for the Glentauchers. I do think water pulls it up a hair, or just integrates it and really kind of pulls together the mouth presence a little bit. Still not up there with the Glen Spey. Right, Mannochmore. This was weirdly, I think it might have been my favorite of the three in the middle, and I cannot explain why. Again, it's right where we were before. It smells like a conventional kind of grainy sherry bomby thing, but there's a nervousness to this, like a grungy, slightly herbal, dirty tropical fruit thing. That's very, very understated. It's all detail with this. On the palate. exactly the same as where it was before. No change with water. And that's fine, I guess. I am at a loss to tell you why I'm enjoying this, which is a bad place to be for a reviewer, because I'm supposed to be justifying what I'm tasting and the way I'm scoring to you folks who are paying me money, or some of you are at least. Thank you, patrons. And I don't know if I can with this. In some ways, this is just a sherry bomb. Normal sherry flavors, but then it's got like an extension on the back end, which you wouldn't expect. It's got that kind of nervous, unripe fruit kind of thing with a grungy thing kind of attached to it. I don't think Mannochmore is a worm tub or anything, but it's the kind of extra detail that you would expect from that kind of distillery. I'm baffled. It's really not a story of the notes or the anything like that. It's just it feels like it has more detail than some of the others in this lineup. Is it beating the Glen Spey? I think it's tying the Glen Spey. I'll give this 86. Oh wait, no, wrong. I'm sorry, I wrote on the wrong bottle. 85 plus for the Talkers, and this is not an 85 plus, it's an 86 for the Mannochmore. Just a weird video today. Alright, moving on. Benrinnes. This was, kind of presenting itself as the most conventional of the bunch before. And water has not changed that. Like the weird kind of gun range thing I was getting on the nose before has really kind of cleaned itself up. And now it just kind of smells like a very straightforward kind of fruit-leaning sherry bomb. Like if you hand this to me and told me it was a Glenfarclas or something, or an Aberlour, I would believe you. We're in that territory. Like that, it could be... It could be any of those guys, It's got fruit, it's got some apple, it's got some orange, chocolate orange, sherry stuff. Smells like a sherried whiskey. Smells like a nice sherried whiskey on the palate. Sorry, I know I'm being silent. I should be talking. Whoa. It just threw a whole load of pepper on me at the back end. Ooh, interesting. Coffee grinds, mustiness, musty coffee grinds, and black pepper. It took until the second sip for me to get it. Give me a second. Let me explain the development on this. Boring but nice. Whoa! It just kind of like, as it settles in your mouth, it just kind of opens up into a world of, well, like you chewing on, used cartridges, dirty gunpowder covered, spent bullet cartridges, and black pepper and like black tea and stuff like that. Nothing. Whoa, okay, yeah. kind of a trickster, actually, this. It's got length. It's got some finish. Nothing can last too long with this. Is this beating the Mannochmore? Hold on. God, I like the Mannochmore. The Mannochmore is so good. And I cannot explain why. There's a nervousness to it that I really like. But damn. Yeah, I think... as you give the Benrinnes more time and space to let that mid-palate transition into the finish and the kind of sustain on the finish, as you let that kind of roll along, you're like, okay, yeah, this is kind of a serious whiskey. Fine. Wow. I think this is better, honestly. I don't know if it's one I would pick up to drink as often as the Mannochmore. And I am as shocked as anyone to say that. I think I kind of personally am enjoying the Mannochmore more. But I will give it a plus. I will give this Benrinnes a plus over the Mannochmore because I think it does step up with water. And it is just a, if you're patient with it, if you're willing to put in the brain work to kind of appreciate this thing, the development is kind of it's kind of a coup. It's kind of amazing. And let us move on. All right, where am I? Geez, we're coming up on an hour. Okay, let's finish this off. Glenburgie. Single cask nation. On the nose. It's so pretty. I adore this nose. It's going to break my heart so much if this does not win the flight. Because this nose is just out of control. It smells like, I don't even know, it smells like a cognac. I mean, it doesn't smell like a cognac because it's got that grainy backbone to it that tells you that, like, this is a malt, but like Grand Champagne fans, come on in. Like, it's that kind of thing. Peach, apricot, nectarine, some, like, even a little bit of, like, some dried fruit kind of coming in there, like a little plum. Prune, I should say. It's got that like honey drizzle, the s'mores thing. Oh, this is fun. Is the nose better than it was without the water? Not particularly. It's still a little bit nippy. It's still a little bit spicy, if I'm honest. Do I care? No, I don't, because it smells gorgeous on the palate. Where do I start with this? If you took what have been saying on this channel for 5-6 freaking years now, a little bit too seriously, and you've just been like, screw whiskey. Whiskey is never going to do it for me. I'm going to indulge in rum and brandy for the rest of my life. I do understand. But stuff like this, honest to God, bourbon barrel aged, fruity as hell malt whiskey. It can justify its existence to you. It really can. Gorgeous development. I mean, very classical development. It's still a little bit short on the mouth length. We're not hitting my lungs by any means, but I mean, it's so pretty up front. There's such an explosion of fruit stuff and like creme brulee and vanilla. And it just like rolls into s'mores and cinnamon toast crunch on the mid palate. Fruit, cinnamon toast crunch, and pepper, and black tea. Oh. Certainly not a perfect malt by any means. But, I mean, really, really good. Really, really good. So, what am I going to score this? Geez. We're in the high 80s, but you know, nowhere near 90. It's just not old enough to kind of develop that extra complexity, that extra length on it. I will score this conservatively and call it an 87 plus. 87 plus for this single malt nation Glenburgie 9-year-old. Continuing my suspicion that Glenburgie might be like the sleeper distillery in Scotland. I don't know what they're doing over there. Like, there's nothing in the stats that would tell you it's amazing, but it's kind of amazing. Yeah, that is the video. So, who are your winners? So, barely in last place, but kind of still in last place is the Glentauchers, which is still fine. I like this stuff. Like, if you got a bottle of this, you lucked out for the price you paid for it. 85 plus. And then, kind of tied-ish are the Glen Spey with an 86 shrug, because you need to know what you're getting into with this. This is not a traditional profile at all, but I do think it's fun. And I do think, like, if you abstract from the weirdness of it, it's worth it's worth 86 points. Glen Spey, Berry Brothers and Rudd. But tied with that is this Mannochmore, which might be, I mean, it's between this Glenburgie and the Mannochmore in terms of which I would be reaching for of my own volition to, like, just drink at any given time. Super delicious. I can't explain why. It's just something to do with the details on this thing. 86 plus for this Benrinnes. Really, really comes to life. Really gets interesting with a touch of water. And your winner today is this Glenburgie pick from Benrinnes. 87 plus. I mean, fruit and s'mores and a really good development. And it likes water. Hard to ask more from a 9-year-old malt than that. That's it. Thanks for watching the video. And cheers.